Hi everybody, I hope you're okay. Welcome back to my channel if you've been before, and welcome if you are new. I have to admit to feeling really quite under the weather today with some kind of lurgy. I'm supposed to be in my shop doing all the grunt work of fitting it out, clearing it out, decorating, but I really am not feeling up to that today. So I am here in my happy space with Mike amongst my decks, and I'm going to do a little VR to Angel over at Feeding My Soul 1212, and that is the hashtag showusyourdecks again. I replied to the original version of this hashtag and really enjoyed it. It was my first ever VR. So I was all over it when I saw that Angel had resurrected the hashtag. So yeah, let's get into it. So the first prompt is for a deck with a quote in the lid. I have gone for a deck with a poem in the lid, and hope that kind of fits the brief. And that is the Transient Light Tarot by Ari Weisner, and there is poetry within the guidebook by Fausta Joy. This was originally a Kickstarter deck, but I have here a pre-loved version of the Mass Market Hay House, and the poem inside is: "Come, sit in the present, nestled in the neck of an hourglass, the future overhead, the past below. Reach out your cupped hands into the stream of falling sand, simultaneously receiving, holding, and letting go with gratitude as the golden thread of time spools and spills through your fingers." And that's so beautiful, and that's, obviously why I chose it for this particular prompt. So the deck itself, there are poems for... bear with me, sorry. There are poems for each of the major cards. Each one has its own poem. And then there are poems for each of the suits of the minors. As you can see there's the wands and the vessels. Excuse me. And this deck is kind of unusual for me in that I normally have a lot of people-y decks. I have probably the vast majority of my decks are people-y decks, and are normally what I'd go for. This is almost entirely bereft of people. In fact, I think it might be completely bereft of people. And actually I've come to love that about this deck. So this fulfills a very specific purpose for me, this deck. So aesthetically, I like the fact that it looks like it's printed on craft paper. I really like that. I always wrap presents in craft paper and then sort of decorate them with ribbons and bits and bobs. But that aside, this feels very much to me like Rider-Waite-Smith stripped back. It contains a lot of the symbolism, but without the people, obviously. But it's sort of... it's a deck that feels like it's stripped away the noise. It's a quiet deck. It's a calm deck. And it's one of those decks, if you feel that you need to just step away from the noise, the crowd, from people for a bit and do a little reading, have a little bit of healing time, then this is one of the decks that I would go to for that. It's quite introspective, I think. It feels quite introspective and healing. And like I say, it's a really sort of quiet deck. It doesn't have... it's not busy. It's not shouting at you. It's... I just find it a really meditative, calm, introspective healing deck. Yeah, I don't know how else to describe it, but hopefully that gives you the idea. And I don't want to sort of go through every single deck and every single card, because we will be here for somewhere around a week, and this is already going to be an incredibly long video, I think. But yeah, so I'll just have a little bit of a flick through of the cards towards the end of each prompt, so that you can get a bit more of an idea of the deck. But oh yeah, I forgot about those. I've obviously shuffled those in. Little past, present and future cards there. Yeah, so it's a really lovely deck if you're looking for something that's just a wonderful deck to step away from everything and go to. So that one is the Transient Light Tarot by Ari Weisner, with poetry by Fausta Jogli. Okay, prompt number 2. I haven't actually written the prompts down, so excuse me if the wording isn't quite right, but this is for a deck that has a damaged box or card. So I've chosen a deck that I got quite recently from Vinted, and when it arrived, the box was really quite damaged, which is a shame, but the cards were in really good condition, so it wasn't too much of a stress. I've put it in this little pouch. I love these pouches, they're my favourite style. This is a commercially produced one, but I love the reading cloth section, and I've actually given the pattern to my mum, and she is, as we speak, making some little custom ones for me. I'll show you those when I get them. I'm really quite excited about it. Anyway, this is the Tarot of the Renaissance. This is by Pietro Aligo and Giorgia Trevisan. It's a low scarabeo deck with a fairly kind of standard low scarabeo guidebook that you get in the little tuck boxes. So the artwork in this isn't actually from the Renaissance. It's by Giorgio Trevisan, and it is a depiction of the Renaissance period, as opposed to a curated deck of Renaissance art. It will come as no surprise to you that I have this deck. I'm sure, as if you've watched my videos before, I've mentioned several times my love of medieval and Tudor history particularly, and this deck just kind of reminds me of do you remember in the 1970s, 80s, I don't know if you remember, there were little ladybird books of fairy tales. I know my sister and I think we had Princess and the Pea. I remember having that. I don't remember which other ones we had, but I do remember Princess and the Pea really well. And so sorry, I am going somewhere with this. The art style in this reminds me so much of those books. This kind of sort of light watercolour storybook style, which has kind of got a little bit of a kind of feel of the 70s and 80s to me. I don't know, it just feels like a childhood sort of memory unlocked there when I look through these cards. But you have to excuse me if I'm more waffly than usual today, because as I said, I feel a bit rubbish. So anyway, I will try and make more sense as we move on. But yeah, so it does have the translations of the titles of the cards in various languages. And actually, I understand why it's there, but I'm maybe a little bit put off by that. So, but this will lend itself very well to being trimmed, and it might actually be the first deck I brave trimming, because I'm yet to do that. I've edged plenty, but I've not yet braved actually slicing a deck. So maybe this is the one I will start with. We shall see. But yeah, so that is the Tarot of the Renaissance. Okay, so prompt number 3. I don't have the precise wording in front of me, but was a deck that has one or more cards that have been renamed. I think that was the gist of it. So I immediately thought of the Wildwood Tarot, my beloved soul deck, but I have mentioned that a few times before, so I wanted to pull a deck that I don't think I've mentioned on my channel. This is the Witch's Wisdom Tarot. What's a tarot? I don't know. Tarot. And this is by Phyllis Curott and Danielle Barlow. And this is a deck I have used quite a lot sort of previously, but that has been sat kind of unloved on my shelf for a little while. It's got a lovely chunky guidebook, look at that. And actually that's not fair because I really love this deck, so it's just a case of, you know, having more decks than you can use at one time, really. But I've recently sort of this week have become a member on Lisa Papez's channel, and she's doing sort of some deep dive sessions, videos for members on the Witch's Wisdom. So that's kind of rekindled my love for this deck, actually, and interest in this deck. So this is, yeah, I've edged this in this blue, which I think is quite a nice edging. It's one of my favourites, actually. Yeah, anyway, so let's have a look at these cards. So yeah, we have the Goddess of Water. So for those that haven't seen this deck before, the suits are all elemental, and so we have earth, air, fire and water, obviously. And then the court cards are renamed. I think there's off the top of my head, Goddess, Witch, Craftsman, I'm trying to remember the others, that they'll come up, I'm sure. Yes, Witch of the Earth, and there, sorry, that's my dog again. So yeah, so there we have the World, but it's card number 1 in this particular deck, so there's some renumbering too going on there. So we have Sun, Moon, Star. But we will oh yeah, there we go. So we've got Maze, so we're getting into some of the renamed cards now. There's another Earth card, another Earth card. I should have really organised these better so that I could demonstrate why they fit the prompt a little bit more professionally, but you know, it's on brand for me not to, isn't it? So you're going to come to expect that from me. There's a Craftsman there, Craftsman of Air. But yeah, oh, there's a Strength card. But yeah, they are just really gorgeous cards, a really lovely deck. Quite chunky for my little bitty hands, which may be why I'm making such a hash up of this particular flick through. I love that Ancestor card. It's gorgeous. Yeah, so anyway, getting dangerously close to waffling on again. Nothing new there. But yeah, these are the Witch's Wisdom Tarot by Phyllis Curott, with artwork by Danielle Barlow, and that's for prompt number 3, the deck with 1 or more renamed cards. Okay, the next prompt excuse me, is for a deck with reversible backs. And obviously there was a heap of decks I could have chosen, but I am so excited about this one. It's given me an excuse to show off this deck because, oh yeah, I would tell you a bit more about why I feel the way I do about this deck in a minute, but this is the Hieronymus Bosch Tarot by Travis McHenry. I've wanted this for a really long time, and about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks, I found a pre-loved version, and so obviously I had to get it. It's just, my initial reasoning for getting this deck was obviously because Hieronymus Bosch was a 15th into 16th century artist, and so it fits right within the period of history that I'm interested in. Just a little flick through the guidebook. I don't actually want to give too much away to you if you haven't seen this deck. If you have seen this deck, you'll know where I'm coming from already, but let me just show you the backs, because that's kind of why we're here, isn't it, for that prompt. So bear with me before I go off on one of my overexcited ramblings. But yeah, lovely shiny sides. But yeah, the backs, oh, they're just so cool. There's so much going on in there. You'd probably need a magnifying glass, or certainly with my eyesight I would, to really kind of dig down into what's happening there. But yeah, they're really cool backs. I think they're quite funky. But the deck, oh my god, this deck is just... See, I knew a little bit... Oh, yeah, you may not want to see that card. I'll just... yes, there are a few cards that may not be everyone's cup of tea here on the old tube, so I'll be a little bit careful. Yeah, so I knew a little bit about Bosch being a Dutch painter of that particular period, and that his works was sort of, I think, mostly religious, but with some what I would probably refer to nowadays as sort of Easter eggs thrown in. But no, it is so much weirder than that. I mean, gosh, this is the weird... I mean, what is going on here? What's going on in that card? What is that about? I don't know. Like I said, this is quite a new deck to me. And normally this level of just weird would have put me off. But I just want to know more. I'm going to properly deep dive into the guidebook as a starting point. But I think I want to get a... I mean, gosh, look. That guy's... Well, we don't need to discuss what he's doing. We can see what's happening there. But I just... I'm not... I don't know. I worry about myself sometimes. I'm not put off. I'm just intrigued. I want to know where this guy is coming from here. I think there's been a lot of debate about his sort of motives, I guess. Oh, yes, the little funnels appear quite frequently. I think there have been some debates on his reasons for doing the thing. There's one of the funnels with legs. His reasonings for some of the things that he put in his paintings. But I need to get a book. I need to get a book on Bosch. I want to know more about his art, so that I can really understand this deck, because I'm just so flippin' intrigued by it. So it's a deck definitely for my deep dive list. I may come out of that deep dive a very, very different person, but you know, I'm prepared to go there. The Hieronymus Bosch Tarot. Just before doing the next prompt, I feel I should probably apologise for my pronunciation of Hieronymus Bosch. I think it's probably wrong, and I may have offended experts several times, and I'm really, really sorry. That said, the next prompt is a deck with a star on the box, and I'm really hoping for extra brownie points here, because not only are there stars plural on the box, but this tarot is called the Wandering Star, and this is a Cat Pierce deck. Yeah, I mean, come on, that's like full effort on the star there. It's a really nice little deck, this. It's pre-loved, and I've only had it a couple of weeks maybe, I'm not sure, can't remember exactly when I bought it. And look, see, even the star is the first card we see. 10 more points to Dragonfly Dilly. I'm so sorry. Oh look, there's even stars on the back. I don't know, maybe I'm delirious now with whatever this lurgy is. I'm really sorry. Anyway, yeah, this is a gorgeous deck, and actually what I really love about it is that I don't know how to explain it really. Let me see if I can find the card first and show you what I mean. Let's try that one if I can. Sorry, I'm going to have to, because my setup is so sort of basic, I'm just going to have to stand up and see if I can... no, see, hang on, look. Right, okay, I could probably do it with this one and get it actually in shot. So, yeah, every card includes keywords within the artwork. Now, the reason that I was quite struck by that was that for quite some time I've been... Hang on, if I can just get this out, I can show you. Excuse my my shoulder in the way there. So yeah, I've been toying with the idea of doing my own tarot deck, not for commercial release or anything like that, just for myself personally. I got these blank tarot cards and box, and I've been debating for ages whether to include keywords within the artwork. It's kind of inspired by the Unlocking the Tarot book by Lisa Papez, because it talks about choosing your own intuitive keywords. So yeah, I'd been debating doing that, and then this deck arrived because it's something I kind of haven't seen very much in my limited experience. But then this deck arrived, and lo and behold, there it is, the some keywords within the actual artwork. And I thought, well, if that's not a sign that that's what I'm going to do, then I don't know what is. So yeah, I'll probably do some videos when I finally why can I never put the hangman up the right way? Honestly, I worry about myself, genuinely I do. But yeah, so I'll probably show you some sort of progress when I decide to do my own deck. But I just thought it was a really cool way of really getting to understand the cards by making my own. But anyway, back to the deck. Sorry, she's gone off on a tangent again. No shock there. I love the kind of retro feel of this. It's kind of got vibes like I'm kind of going 1970 Isle of Wight Festival posters. Yeah, late 60s, early 70s kind of vibes, which I love. I love the colours. And I think it's probably a really, really good sort of starter deck as well for newer readers. I think they'd probably find it a really good one to connect with and use. So yeah, I think I've finished waffling on about that particular deck. So that is the Wandering Star Tarot by Kat Pierce. So the next prompt is for a deck which has few or no people in the minors. So the Transient Light Tarot would have worked really well for this, but having banged on passionately about some of the decks, I'm going to show you a deck now that is in purgatory, because I don't really like it. But it fits the brief. Yeah, it's the Wisdom Seekers Tarot by David Fontana. It's pre-loved, but I got it for some outrageously low price. It was so cheap, and I could see it was an original. It's a Watkins publishing deck. I could see from the photographs that it was genuine. It was brand new and sealed, so I couldn't see many pictures. It's got this lovely sort of the lovely drawer boxes that Watkins decks have, and actually, if I show you the back, that's the only kind of glimpse I had of the cards before it arrived, because it was sealed. But yeah, it's but I thought, it's worth taking a chance on for the price. It's a little guidebook there. It's actually like really quite a thin guidebook. But then we get to the deck, and the card backs to begin with just make me really sad. There's no joy for me there. There's no dopamine hit from those backs. Yeah, that they make me sad. The backs make me really sad. There's just feels like the card stuff's nice, to be fair, very shiny. And the majors kind of look all right. I'm not, overly excited by them, but they are what they are. Yeah. See, I keep thinking this is another deck actually that I could risk being my first one to trim down. Yeah. Anyway, so we're talking about the minors anyway, aren't we? So, yeah, there are no people in the minors in this deck. So there's the swords. Do you know what? Sorry, there's the cups. There's nothing wrong with it, actually. The artwork's really quite nice. It's fine. You know, but I just don't. I just feel so meh about this deck. I don't know why. I feel a bit bad, really, because, like I said, there's nothing overtly wrong about any of the artwork or the cards. Here's show you some ones. But I just don't feel moved to read with it. I just felt really kind of, I guess, a bit deflated when it arrived, which is stupid, really, because I wasn't expecting much from it given the price, and I hadn't really seen much of it. But the deck itself just is a bit meh, as I said. And the backs, just, I can't help it. They just make me really sad. I feel like, you know, the minimal effort there, guys, on the backs. But yeah, Wisdom Seekers Tarot. So from a deck that just makes me feel a bit sad to a deck that I absolutely love. This next prompt is a deck with a Fool card that is not a person, or words to that effect. And for this prompt, I've chosen the gorgeous Hush Tarot by Jeremy Hush. I am so in love with this deck. I've had this one a little while now. It's kind of one of the earlier decks that I haven't even edged. More recently, I've been getting decks and immediately edging them because that was a particular hyper focus for a while. But I really love reading with this deck, but I want to go deeper. This is definitely another deck that I want to deep dive with, 100%. The guidebook's really kind of diddy, and it does give you information about why the artwork is the way it is. So the Fool, for example, the ferret is known for its curiosity and playful temperament, which can sometimes be considered mischievous. Moths use their turbulent flight to evade predators. Their erratic moves can help to avoid danger. Also, as masters of disguise, they are reminded to be aware that you could be hiding from yourself. So it will give you the reason as to why this particular animal or piece of artwork is used to represent each card. But I kind of want more. It's a bit of a Hieronymus Bosch moment. I really want to deep dive more into this deck. I looked for a bigger guidebook. I don't know if there was like a companion guidebook to this deck, but I haven't been able to find one. So if anyone happens to know if there is one, please do tell me, because I love this deck so much, but I feel like the readings I'm doing with it are a bit sort of on the superficial level. It may be that I just need to really, really deep dive myself and journal a little bit on the deck to sort of dig down a bit. But so I'm just trying to find the actual Fool card, remembering why I've got this deck out in the first place. Remembering the prompt. I love that card. And that's my favourite Tower card. Because I just love this deck so much, and I feel like I'm not using it to its full potential. I want to understand it more. So it's either going to be a personal deep dive, or if there is please tell me there's a separate guidebook somewhere for this, because that would be amazing. Have I actually even taken the Fool out in prepping for this video? I mean, you can see how gorgeous this artwork is, right? It's just stunning. Oh, yeah, I love that card. That's going to be my favourite Ten of Swords in my next favourite cards video, guaranteed. Where is it? How is it? Oh, there we go. Right, it is in here. I mean, you already knew it was a ferret because I gave that away at the beginning, so a bit of a spoiler alert. Oh, hang on a minute. Let me just, if I stand up. There we go. So yeah, that is my no people or no person Fool card. This is a deck I need to understand more. I want to get to know it more intimately, shall we say. Yeah, I'm sorry, the waffle is back. I do think I'm slightly delirious. But yes, sorry. Hush Tarot by Jeremy Hush. Righty, so the next prompt, I'm not sure what number we're on, is a box design, a favourite box design, sorry. And I didn't know whether to go for one based on the artwork or the physical design of the box, or a combination of the two. I had a lot of choices. I've probably quite an unpopular opinion, but you know the Find Your Magic deck, and I think it's the Woodland Fairy Tale Tarot, that have like the little tuck box that's tucked inside another box. I know that's a bit resource heavy unnecessarily, and maybe a bit faffy, but I just really like it. A box within a box just pleases me. But what I have gone for is an oracle deck, because I don't pull oracle decks for videos very often, so I thought I'd make a change, and I have gone for this stunning Call of the Morrigan oracle. Now, this might be an unpopular choice for the box because it's probably a really impractical box, I get that, but sometimes the most impractical things are the most gorgeous, right? You know, I have plenty of pairs of shoes that I can't walk in, but they're so beautiful that I have them. And this is like opening a box of delights, this box. Do you remember that program? Bit of nostalgia for you there. Yeah, I just love it. And it's got the little ribbon that holds it open on the side, which is so cute. Yeah, it does have some excess packaging in it. I get that. And that's not, you know, nobody's down for that, really. But I just, yeah, wait for this. Look, I don't know if the microphone is picking up that little tick, that satisfying little click as the magnets hit each other when you close the box. I don't know, it's the little things in life that make me happy, clearly. Anyway, so yeah, that's the gorgeous box, which is what the prompt's all about. But let me talk to you about the deck itself. If you don't know this deck, it's really, really special for a few reasons. Yes, they're a very nice box. But this guidebook, whilst an unpopular landscape shape, I'm sure, it's absolutely awesome. And yeah, okay, we'll use this page. So it gives you the keywords and sort of the description, as you expect, and it also gives you sort of the oh, hang on, no, let's get the pages right. The story behind the card, or the legend behind the card, whatever's appropriate for that card. The divination meaning is separate, but then it gives you a spell or ritual for every single card. And I just love that. They're really simple spells as well. There's no bizarre ingredients or complicated ritual. It's just about connecting with the card, or using the card to deepen and strengthen a spell that you have planned. So basically you have kind of lots of ways you can use this deck. You can pull a card and then go to the spell that is related to that card, or you can have a spell in mind, something that you're manifesting, and you want to match the intention of your spell, or have the support of one of the sorry, I'm really struggling with my words today, or sort of have the support of the I'm just going to say person because my brain isn't functioning properly, but of the person in the card to sort of strengthen and deepen the spell. I hope that made sense. But there's lots of other information in here too, but I just love the fact that this is such a well thought out deck. It has real purpose. It has it's not just a kind of really pretty little oracle deck with some kind of arbitrary words on it. It's really got, as I say, a lot of thought behind it and a lot of purpose. I love it. I've edged the cards in black. And yeah, the cards themselves are gorgeous. I love the cards. I don't think there's a single card in this deck that I don't like. And look at that card. It's so gorgeous. And yeah, it's just... I don't know why I'm struggling so hard to sort of verbalise today. I'm so sorry. But yeah, it's just a great deck. I love that it has such a purpose. And I love that I know when I need to use this. I love that I can just go, this is a Call of the Morrigan moment. And yeah, that's really, really special. As are all the cards. I'll just show you a few more because this is like the longest video ever. I'm sure if I cut out half of me waffling and saying it would be sort of half the length, but we are where we are. So yes, sorry. That is the beautiful deck and the fabulous box for the Call of the Morrigan Oracle by Stephanie Woodfield, Karen Storminger and Naomi Cornick. Okay, so I am admittedly kind of flagging a little bit now, but I'm going to press on because once I start something I'm really, really rubbish at leaving it and coming back to it. I have to finish it. So yeah, I'm going to push forward. The next prompt is for a deck you've done a complete 180 on, so either one that you loved and now don't, or that you didn't love but you now do. And I'm cheating a little bit because I'm taking a deck from each category. One that I loved and now don't, and one that I thought I wouldn't love, but I do now. Okay, this is an unpopular opinion, I'm sure of it, but The Fairies Oracle by Brian Froud. I have always loved Brian's artwork, and I love Dark Crystal, the Good Fairies, Bad Fairies. So for me, this was a deck I absolutely had to get, and I knew immediately I'm going to love this deck. I love this deck before I've even got it home. I was 100% sure that I was going to be all over this deck. So I got to this point and I was a bit like, not in love with the kind of wrong way round giant tuck box, but okay, it doesn't matter. I probably wouldn't end up storing it in the box anyway. It's really heavy. The main reason being that it's got this absolutely phenomenal guidebook. So I thought it's okay because I'll keep the cards in a pouch anyway, because I know it's got this amazing hardback book that would be gorgeous on a bookshelf with some of my other companion books. So up till now we're absolutely still 100% in love with this deck. The book is just so beautiful. It's packed with information. I even love the kind of blue scale images, and yeah, I mean, it's just perfection. This book is utter perfection. I love it. I cannot fault it. It's so incredibly beautiful. So why the 180? Why do I not love this deck now? God, this makes me sad, and I know people are going to hate me for this, I'm sure, but the first thing is I cannot stand the backs. I'm really disappointed with the backs. I don't know why, because I don't dislike the artwork itself. I just don't love it as a choice for the back. I'm not sure about the kind of the fake tearing thing down both sides. It's a faff to get out of the box as well, just as an aside. But then you got like, this is a really card heavy deck, but it's really thin. And the reason being, is the cardstock. The cardstock is so flippin' flimsy. And I know you want a bendy card to be able to shuffle them, right? But that's just really poor quality. And then the cards themselves. I love the artwork. That I cannot fault the artwork. It's just beautiful. But the print quality is kind of off. There's like things like the margins. Some of the margins aren't the same size, and that's really annoying to me. I don't know whether oh God, I'm just being so picky, aren't I? But yeah, the print quality is rubbish, or at least it's not the quality that you expect when you have seen such a stunning guidebook. And what particularly peeves me about it is the text. It's so grainy, the printing is so poor that the text is kind of blurry and unclear, and I'm just blown away by the fact that it's got this absolutely glorious book, this wonderful hardback book, and then so little thought has gone into the quality of the cards. And it's such a letdown because, you know, Brian Froud's artwork deserves so much more because it is spectacular. There's a reason why people love his... Look at that. There's a reason why his artwork is so loved and respected. It's because it's so wonderful. And it's so let down by the quality of these cards. And you know, I think my opinion on cardstock is probably very different from a lot of people's as well. I mean, I'm not a fancy shuffler as much as I'd love to be. I can't shuffle cards like a lot of people do. I'm a, you know, basic shuffler. So, you know, maybe I don't need or look for the amount of flexibility in the cards that others might. I get that, but it's so flimsy. I mean, look, there's a lot of cards in this deck, and the deck is just so thin. Anyway, I'm in danger of really kind of being ultra negative. so let's get a bit more positive now. So this is a deck that I was fully expecting not to love, that I did a complete 180 on. Now I saw this, I don't know whose channel it was now, but it was in a video of underrated decks, and I bought it, I think, in the kind of initial flurry of, oh, so like people collect tarot decks, that's the thing I can do. So I have to admit that at that point in time it wasn't a particularly mindful purchase, and I fully expected not to like it. It came in this really awful big box that was kind of poorly designed. It's got a landscape guidebook, which I won't get out because it's in the cupboard underneath me and I will knock everything over. But yeah, so this is the, what's it called? Twilight Realms, A Tarot of Fairy. I can't remember who it's by either. I will link below when I know. But yeah, I've edged it in this gorgeous purple, but it's well used, so the edging's kind of fading a little bit in places. But yeah, I have completely 180 on this deck. I absolutely adore it. It reads like an absolute dream. I have fallen completely in love with the artwork. It's kind of like it looks like sort of oil pastels that it's originally created with. It's got that vibe, and even though it's got these kind of big old square borders and things on the minors, I don't care. I think the artwork is beautiful in its sort of naivety and simplicity, really. And actually, no, that's probably not fair. It's not even naive and simplistic. It's really gorgeous. I guess it's just not as kind of, I don't know, photographic maybe as some decks, or as, I don't know. I can't explain it anyway. But I just am in love with the artwork. And then the vibe of the deck, I kind of describe this like when I was a kid. And so I see, I'm not even a unicorn person, but I love that card. Quite often, if I played on my own, I would sort of disappear for hours into this kind of... I love that Hierophant. That's my favourite Hierophant. Oh, and that Wheel of Fortune. Oh, yeah, I would disappear off into this little kind of world of my own that was the world of the Dark Crystal, the world of fairies and elves, and I would play by myself these little kind of imagined games for hours. And I think that's the feeling I get from this when I read with this. So it's kind of like, it's a bit of an inner child deck for me, but it also has kind of a slightly dark edge to it. A kind of mystical edge, perhaps, is the word I'm looking for. But I'm utterly in love with this deck. I love to read with this deck, and I shall continue to, I'm sure, reach for this deck pretty often. Actually, that's the only card I don't think I like in this. Oh no, I'm not keen on that one, but I think that's the only two cards I don't like. I love the Fall. It's just insanely cute. So yes, it's a fab little deck, and it is entirely underrated, I think. I just adore it, and I love reading with it. It's just takes me back to those magical kind of imaginary moments that I had as a kid, and that's a kind of really special place, I think, for a deck to take you. So Twilight... Oh, oh my gosh, so I talk about Robin of Sherwood like all the time. Is this not the Sheriff of Nottingham from the Robin of Sherwood? I think we should have Dragonfly Daily Bingo, so every time I mention something like Robin of Sherwood, or my performance or dance background, or say we should all have like a little bingo card and tick off, and maybe there should be a prize at the end of it. Anywho, that aside, there we are, the Twilight Realms, a Tarot of Fairy. Okay, so I've looked at my piece of paper, and I now know we are on prompt 10, which is a deck with an even numbered major card on the front of the box. And for this, I have chosen the Fantasy Night Theatre Tarot. This is by Alessa Deng. This, I think, was a Kickstarter deck. I've got this one pre-loved from Vinted, from a seller that I've bought from quite a few times, actually. She has quite a lot of indie decks secondhand. That's the Lovers card on the front there. Now, if within the last 30 seconds or so you have managed to make yourself a Dragonfly Dilly Bingo card, get ready with your pen to circle mentioning her performance background. Because that was what obviously attracted me to this deck. It's very theatrical, it's very dramatic, it's full of dancers and performers. There it is, there's the Lovers card. And look at me lifting that up and clearly not getting it in shot. I'm a mess today, YouTube, I'm so sorry. Anyway, pressing on, it's full of dancers and different types of performer. It's so dramatic. It's absolutely full of drama, this deck. Look, it's so cool. I think this is like, for me, a trendy deck, because like I've got a lot of, as you know, oh look, you can do this on your bingo card too, mentioning how many historical decks I've got, because I really love history. But I've got a lot of those, but they're not, I wouldn't consider those particularly trendy. But this one feels trendy. This one feels really cool. It's also full of movement as well. The artwork, the backgrounds particularly, are full of movement. And it's a really dynamic deck to read with. I haven't read with it much yet. I've mostly just kind of sat with it and kind of looked through the cards, getting to know them. But it packs a punch. It's dynamic, it's feisty, and it's exciting. It's a really exciting deck. I really can't wait to read with it more. I think it's one of those decks that I'm going to be kind of, getting kind of goosebumps and smiles when I pull it out to do a reading with it. Yeah, it's an awesome deck. This is the Fantasy Night Theatre Tarot by Alessa Deng. Okay, prompt 11. I'm sorry, I may have kind of missed the wording on this one too. Is a deck that is facing a different way to the rest of your decks, or the title text is facing a different way on the shelf to the rest of your decks. And there is only one that this could possibly be, and that is the Golden Tarot, the Visconti Sforza deck. And the reason it's the wrong way round on my shelf is because of the box and the shape and the fact it opens at the top, and yeah, it's just a really kind of awkward deck to store with the others. So the title always seems to sit the wrong way round. But we are going back now to the historic decks, and you can't get a lot more historic than the Visconti Sforza deck. It's one of the earliest complete tarot decks, and that's why this was a must-have. I actually got this for Christmas a couple of years ago from my husband, and I just, oh gosh, I love it so much. I feel like I'm holding history in my hands, despite the fact it's, fairly newly printed. It's just an absolutely gorgeous deck, and yeah, this is another goosebumpy deck for me. It's, you can see why it kind of sits the wrong way around because of the shape of the box. But so this particular one comes with this little kind of shiny reading cloth. Here's the guidebook. I'll just show you that. This is a really gorgeous guidebook. So lots of good information in it on the history of tarot and of this particular deck, and of the sort of the period it was produced in. So yeah, there's lots of kind of historical information in there, and then obviously you have the card descriptions and meanings themselves. Now, I really want to use this more than I do, and you'll see why it doesn't get used. And that's because the cards are just humongous, and I've got such tiny little hands. I'm only 5 foot tall. I'm basically an elf myself, really. I've got these tiny little hands, and and I'm not, as I've said before, I'm not very adept at shuffling, but these cards are just almost impossible for me to shuffle, and it makes me so sad because I love them and I really want to use this deck. I want to use these cards, but I think I'm going to have to find a slightly smaller version of it to really use it the way that I want to. And yeah, as I keep mentioning, I don't know how many times you can circle it on your bingo card, but I love a historical deck, and I love medieval history, and particularly this particular period of history in terms of the political situation in Italy at the time. And it's kind of around the time of the Borgias as well, if you're aware of the Borgia Pope. I'm particularly interested and love the story of Lucrezia Borgia. And the Visconti and Sforza names, Sforza particularly, are really integral to that period of time in Italy and the political situation. And so knowing that I have albeit a reproduction of a deck created by those families that I have read about in history books is really exciting. and I just adore this deck so much. But I think this is going to have to probably be just sort of a collectible item, and I will need to source a much smaller version for my tiny little hands. Yeah. Anyway, so that is the Golden Tarot. The Golden Tarot and the Visconti Sforza deck. Okay, prompt 12 is a lonely deck. It's a deck that you don't store with your other decks. Now, I actually do store all my decks together, so there really was only one deck this could be. Technically not entirely lonely because it lives in my bureau where I put my sort of monthly draw decks, but it's in a separate little cubbyhole. And it's this little pocket version of the Everyday Witch Tarot. I've kind of zoomed in on this particular one so you can see it a little bit more closely. There's the sort of dinky little guidebook. I think this is a genuine pocket version. It was a gift. And it's got like the lovely sort of holographic pink sides. So the reason that this lives separately is because originally when I was gifted it, I thought this is going to be a great little deck to use as a travel deck. It's handbag size. I can pop it in an overnight bag, whatever, and I can use it while I'm travelling. I don't travel a lot, but I do visit the mainland. I think I've mentioned I live in the Isle of Wight and my family are on the mainland, so I do go and visit them on the mainland, and I like to get a deck out on the ferry sometimes, or when I'm maybe at my parents' house. So yeah, originally that was kind of why I sort of put this deck separately, but I just didn't really connect with it, and it's weird because it's very like some of the other decks I've got. It's not dissimilar to something like the Green Witch Tarot perhaps, but maybe that's why. Maybe it's just sort of not offering anything new or anything that I don't already have in another deck. But whatever the reason, I don't just like the deck, I actually really love it, but I just wasn't connecting with it, and it maybe should have gone then on the purgatory pile, but something stopped me, and it took me a little time to realise. But this sounds kind of weird, perhaps, but it feels like my daughter's deck. There's nothing in it that overtly says that it's my daughter's deck. It's just a really overwhelming feeling I get that this deck is for her, either to read for her or to gift to her. And so that's kind of why it sits in a little cubbyhole in my bureau. Because I think one day if she comes to me and wants her cards read, this is absolutely the deck I would pull. Or if she herself shows an interest ever in learning to read tarot, I will gift her this deck. It'll be the first deck I gift her. So I can't explain why. It's an odd thing, but it just feels like her deck to me, which is why it gets stored in a special place. It's not completely lonely because in other little cubby holes or other sort of decks that I'm using on and off. But yeah. Okay, we are getting there. Prompt 13 is a deck that I think it reminds you of, or you connect with this particular time of year. I was going to go for the Lunar Soul Tarot, but I thought, you know what, I haven't really got many Oracle decks out in any videos, so I went really obvious, I'm afraid, for this. And I've pulled out the Seasons of the Witch Letha Oracle. I'm actually using this one at the moment. I've started using this one from this morning, obviously because we have Letha coming up at the end of the week. And So yeah, this is my daily Oracle draw deck, and I love it. I love all of the Seasons of the Witch decks. I love Lorraine Anderson. I have, I think, all of her books. It's got an awesome guidebook. Not only is, oh, that's the card I drew this morning, clear quartz. Yeah, the guidebooks are fabulous. They're full of all sorts of information. You don't just get sort of messages in these decks. You also get sort of ideas for ways to celebrate each Sabbath, rituals you can do, teas you can make. They're just, I guess, a little bit like Call of the Morrigan. They have a real purpose and a real use, and I really like that. And then artistically, they just have such a lovely, warming, summery vibe about them. They're just lovely and light and breezy, and yeah, look. And they're just gorgeous cards, and I love the artwork in every single one of these decks. But yeah, look, there we go. So that's the Sun Tea. But they just have a lot about them. They just have a lot of ways to use them, if that makes sense. I tend to use them on the actual Sabbath up until now, but I've decided that actually I think that I need to get more use out of them, so I will use them around the sort of period of each Sabbath rather than just bang on the day of the Sabbath, or days of the Sabbath. And they just, oh look, well, you know, I'm a Cancerian, so it's the perfect deck for this time of year, and for me, it's kind of my sun sign deck. So yeah, that definitely fits the bill, I think, for a deck that reminds you of this particular time of year. So yeah, that is the Seasons of the Witch Letha Oracle. Right, so the penultimate prompt, number 14, is a deck containing your favourite animal. I was going to choose a deck with a stag in it. I don't know, something like Forest of Enchantment. Again, the Wildwood Tarot, but I do have a deep connection with a stag. Obviously because of Herne, which I've mentioned before. Have you got that one on your bingo card, everybody? She mentions Herne. But I couldn't resist it. I know I've shown this deck before, but if we're really talking about my favourite animal, I've got to get it out again, haven't I? I did it in a previous video, and I can't deny that this is my favourite animal. I rescue them. I love them. These little fairy potatoes. I'm bringing out, after much suspense, I'm sure, the Chunky Guinea Pig Tarot again. I will flick through it really quickly. It's only a small deck. It's only majors. It's by Nori Star Cream, who is on Etsy. It was a gift from my husband. And oh, it's my little piggies. That looks like, I've got a pig called Herne who looks like that. Honestly, they're really misunderstood guinea pigs. I know that sounds ridiculous, but people kind of think they're easy pets and starter pets, but they're really not. They're actually quite complicated to look after. You need an exotics vet to really understand them. Their care isn't easy. Their care isn't basic and straightforward. They're prone to various illnesses. They're a herd animal. There's just so many reasons why so many end up being put up for rescue, and why I then take them in. They're such wonderful little animals, and they are definitely my favourite, so I had to get the Chunky Guinea Pig Tarot out again for this prompt. And we are finally at prompt 15, after which I shall probably go and collapse in a heap somewhere and sleep for a bit. But this prompt is this prompt was a a deck with a rainbow on a card or on the box. I've gone for a purgatory deck again for this one. I think I sort of hesitated for a long time about buying this. It was in and out of my basket, and eventually I did go for it, because I thought I probably would like it. The guidebook's really sweet. I like the guidebook. But yeah, I don't reach for it. I don't connect with it. I'm just not feeling it, and I feel quite sad about that as well. I always feel sad when I don't connect with the deck. I love the box. It reminds me of, I had this little jewellery box that was a Swan Lake jewellery box when I was a kid, and it had all these little kind of starry shaped flowers on the bottom. I love it when you've got sort of like a ditzy print on something. It's just gorgeous. Anyway, sorry, another tangent. We should bingo that. She goes off at a tangent. But yeah, I really want to love this deck, and I don't reach for it. I don't read with it. I don't particularly love the artwork either. But I just, yeah, I can't put my finger on what it is about it that doesn't hit me. Is it because it's collagey? Maybe because it's collagey. I don't know. Have I got other collagey decks that I really get on with? I don't know. I don't know what it is about it, but it's just not. It's not for me. But I will find the card for the prompt, because that is why we're here. There it is. The Ten of Cups, which has the rainbow on it. But yeah, I just don't get a feeling from this deck. It kind of falls flat for me, and that's really disappointing, because it's lovely quality. It's really well produced. It's I'm sure other people absolutely adore this deck and get on really well with it, and that's amazing, but it's just not a deck for me. But there we are. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this VR to Angels Show Us Your Decks Again hashtag. I'm sorry if it was more faffy than usual, if the quality wasn't up to scratch. I am feeling like a bag of the proverbial tied up with string, but tarot is my therapy, it is my happy place, and so it really felt like something I wanted to do today. I shall probably go and collapse in a sleepy little heap now that I've finished. But in the meantime, guys, do take care. Please hit the like and subscribe if you feel so inclined. But for now, it is goodbye from me, from Mike, and I hopefully will see you all again soon.